Good morning from the Gothenburg Water Utilization Learning Center. My name is Brian Olson, and I wanted to take a few moments today to talk about some research that we completed in 2019 that I think has got some real potential to help our farmers improve their operation, and especially managing fields over a wide area. And so that really has to do with a project that took climate field view, and we evaluated the impact of Delaro fungicide application on corn products. So the objective of the study was to determine the impact of corn product and fungicide on corn yield when utilizing climate field view digital technology. The study was conducted on a local farmer's irrigated pivot near Hershey, Nebraska. So this was a large plot, again, going across the whole pivot. And this farmer had little to no experience with climate field view or a fungicide application on corn at the VT growth stage. So again, near Hershey, Nebraska, it was on the soil type was a sandy loam, and then the previous crop was corn. It was strip tilled. Then planting date was May 10th of last year. Harvest date was November 6th. And the potential yield was 280 bushels per acre with a seeding rate of 32,000. Back to the soil types, you'll notice it does say sandy loam and then a horde silt loam, so there was some variability on that pivot with respect to soil types. The trial was conducted on this irrigated pivot, split in half, so we had the same 5 corn products planted on each half. And then on half the pivot, 11 fluid ounces of Delaro 325 SC fungicide was applied at VT growth stage, which was July 31st, and the other half did not receive a fungicide application. So disease pressure was overall relatively low at this site. Again, this is farther western Nebraska, so we typically don't see a lot of disease pressure, even in a wet year. It does, if diseases come in, they will come in toward the later part of the season. But at this time, there was no disease pressure of any significance. Herbicide applications for fertility were constant throughout the field. Corn was planted on 30-inch rows. And then climate field view was utilized throughout the growing season to monitor crop health and really provided some interesting evaluations. And so these are some of those evaluations. We've got an aerial image on August 4th. So you'll remember the fungicide was applied on July 31st. So there's really not a lot of difference here. The bottom half of this pivot had the fungicide application, while the top did not. And relatively, there's just not a lot of difference. But again, toward the 3-4 weeks later, at the end of August, you can really start seeing the value of that fungicide application, keeping that corn a lot greener. And it's definitely showing up from that aerial imagery compared to the part that was not sprayed, where you can see the green or the corn starting to senesce and losing its green color. So results, each of the 5 corn products responded positively to a fungicide application, with all of the products yielding between 230 and 250 bushels per acre. There was not a lot of difference in grain moisture between when you had a fungicide application applied to a corn product and when there was not, but there was differences in how the corn products, there was differences in moisture content between the corn products. An important point here, the plots with the fungicide application not only had increased yield, but the farmer visually saw a substantial improvement with stalk standability and less ear drop with the Delaro 325C fungicide application. And so if you think back to last year, we did have some big wind events go through the area, like in October. And again, according to the farmer, he saw much better standability in that corn that had the fungicide application and less ear drop. And the improved corn growth with a fungicide, again, could be seen with that August 29th field imagery. And so, as a first-time user of FieldView, the farmer expressed a very positive experience with the corn product, and then the fungicide application, and then he's actually went through and renewed his subscription to Climate FieldView in 2020. So I think overall a very positive experience for the farmer, but really again that Climate FieldView, there was a lot of value there in being able to do your own testing on his farm. He could see this, he could walk out into the plots and really see what was going on, and then did that correlate with the imagery? And yes, it did. Again, we saw a lot greener imagery with that Climate Field View in the area that was applied to the fungicide compared to what was not. And the farmer visually saw that when he walked out into the field. So these are the yields that we're seeing. And so again, all of the corn products had a positive response to a fungicide application, anywhere from 3 bushel up to 8 bushels per acre more. And again, these strips went across the whole pivot. And you'll see here the grain moisture, there was little to no difference between with a fungicide application without. So again, the fungicide application was applied on July 31st, and this was harvested in November. So the plots with the fungicide application had higher yield for all corn products, even in a low disease pressure environment. And FieldView allowed for easier tracking of field health over the growing season and comparison of different corn management inputs at harvest. And so back to the value of Climate Field View, you can use this, if you want to make a comparison of putting a starter on or not, or increasing nitrogen application, or maybe there's a micronutrient package you want to evaluate, or maybe you want to evaluate different corn products. Again, the field view will allow you to see if there's any visual differences from that aerial imagery, and then go through there and make some comparisons at harvest. So here are the legal statements from the study. And we want to thank you for your time. If you're interested in looking at Climate Field View, please reach out to a DeKalb channel or Fontenelle representative. And then again, be mindful that we are seeing some positive responses of Delaro on corn products, even in a low disease pressure environment. So with that, I'll wrap it up, and we do plan to continue getting information out to our farmers, understanding that with this coronavirus situation, that doing things like this virtually might be the best way, and we do plan to continue that moving forward. So with that, I'll wrap it up, and thank you for your time.